Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley has just been announced October 22nd, UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi. What's happening, y'all? It's the Carolina Kid. I'm going to be doing my early predictions for this fight, what I think is going to happen, keys to victory for both fighters, and how I think this fight might play out. Petr Yan has one of, if not the most diverse skill set in this division, and his ability to make reads and break down his opponents is something legendary. He's also a great combination puncher. We saw against Sandhagen, his biggest moments came when he was throwing these combinations, and against O'Malley, I think that's going to be a key for him, and it may allow him to grapple underneath, get him thinking up top, and shoot low. Also, O'Malley is known for having a weakness of getting leg kicked, so I think Yan will try to capitalize on that, although I'm not totally sure how well it will work because O'Malley had adjusted well in his last fight. I also think Yan has the advantage when it comes to close quarters, striking, and clinching scenarios in this fight. In the first fight against Aljo, Yan was able to push forward and force Aljo into action until he got fatigued, which could play a role in this fight against O'Malley as well. I think O'Malley needs to stay true to his style, pick Yan apart with long strikes from the outside, which we saw Aljo and Sandhagen have success with, but I think O'Malley is much more powerful than those guys. He and Sandhagen have a somewhat similar style, but one thing different about O'Malley's game is the way he changes rhythms. He's stutter stepping, he's standing still, he's bouncing around, and he throws from all of these positions, making his striking quicker and less predictable. O'Malley should really focus on leg kicks in this fight. We saw Aldo and many other opponents against Yan have success with this. Yan always moves forward and you can always count on him being there, so even if your punches don't land, you can always follow up with leg kicks and start accumulating that damage. O'Malley looked good using these tactics against opponents in the past, but typically put on a pace that wouldn't last against a guy like Yan. These guys are not on Yan's level. Although, against Munoz, we saw O'Malley start to adjust his style, maybe to accommodate for this higher level of fighter that he knows he's going to be in the cage for a while with. I'm excited to see the media interactions between these two as well. I think O'Malley might try to piss Yan off and get in his head, because he knows that Yan has had problems with that in the past, particularly against Aljo in the second fight. Maybe if he can get in Yan's head, he can get him to start making mistakes, not fight his normal fight, and he could take advantage of that. So I think that's a good tactic that Sean O'Malley might employ. It'd be fun to watch. But Yan is a stone cold killer. It seems that he has the grappling advantage in this fight, so that might be a good avenue for him to take. Try to wrestle with O'Malley early and tire him out. But the main unknown in this fight is actually O'Malley's grappling. We've never really seen it before in the octagon, aside from a few scrambles here and there, in which he proved to be as offensive off his back as he is on his feet. So I'm really excited to see what happens with that. If Yan intends to just strike with O'Malley, and O'Malley shows up with the right game plan, I really see O'Malley winning this. I think people are not giving him a lot of respect because of the stardom that he has, but I think this guy is a high level fighter, potentially top 10 strikers ever in the UFC, and if Yan thinks he's just going to show up for a striking match, I believe he gets smoked. However, Yan does have many paths to victory, so I don't think that this is an easy fight for O'Malley by any extent. I don't think anybody thinks this is an easy fight for him, but with O'Malley's style, he is one of those guys that can make anybody look like an amateur if he shows up the right way on the right night. Yan definitely seems to have more advantages considering the grappling, but I consider the grappling unknown. We haven't seen O'Malley grapple in the octagon enough to know which way it would go if they were to grapple. His submission attempts might be really threatening to Yan, so I'm pulling for O'Malley in this fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Yan took it either way. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, subscribe. I'll be doing a few more videos breaking down the technical aspects of this fight. Alright y'all, I'm out.